Whether the team has given us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So I want to start off today's show by cleaning up a few items from the last stream after the game, the post-game show, and one item from the game itself. These were, some technicalities that we run into from time to time. And, first thing I want to say is that I value every single comment that is made. I talk about how these post-game shows are therapeutic, especially when it's a tough loss like the Tennessee game, for instance. It just is good to be able to get that off my chest, listen to you guys, and feel better afterwards. It still stings, but it feels so much better after I've sat with you guys for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, chopping it up. You guys always try to make me laugh, and usually you do accomplish that, and I leave feeling a lot better than I did coming in. And I think a lot of you feel the same way after those streams as well. When we win, it's even better. Like Sunday, it's a great time. It feels great to celebrate with one another, right? I value each and every single comment that is made, whether you super chat or not. But if you super chat, you spend your hard-earned money to have a comment recognized, it needs to be. My motto with supers is very simple. If you spend the bread, it needs to be read. And so I got the best mods in the world, okay? Condo P, Kevin the PRF, and all my mods hold the kid down like no other. But those two in particular do a great job of grabbing screenshots of early supers and early new entries into the mob. When there are over 1,000 people in these streams like they usually are after these games, and their comments being sent in by the second, after a while, the comments that, were the oldest get removed, right? And the new comments are being shown, and I can't go back and access the older comments. So they do a great job of sending me screenshots to let me know what was going on before I may have gotten to some of the super chats and things of that nature. And so Kevin the PRF took the liberty to send me some screenshots of some early supers and new entries into the mob. And I wasn't able to access it because he sent it to my personal IG, not my business IG. And because of that, I didn't see them. I went straight to the LouieTeeNetwork IG and not the one that he sent them to. And so I didn't know, and I didn't see them. But now that I know, when you know better, you do better. And so because I have access to them and I've seen them, they need to be read and recognized. Again, you spend the bread, your comments and super chats need to be read. You join the mob, I got to make sure that you're acknowledged by the mob. So with that said, we're going to clean up a couple of technicalities from Sunday's post-game show, starting with the supers and these new entries into the mob. So I want to start off with Sonny Rawson. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Sonny Rawson, who writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB as well, Sonny, who writes, Lou, wish I was effing blind, but a win's a win's a win in the National Football League. I don't know why Sonny feels that way over this one. This didn't feel like the Bears game to me. It didn't. It felt like a legitimate victory. Yep, the Packers helped us out. Yep, and I stated all of this after the game. Like, every single win we've had this season has been aided and abetted by the opponent. But that's how a lot of wins in this league are had. Most of the teams in this league, there are a select few that go out and pound their opponent to the point where it didn't matter that the mistakes were made by the opposition. You were going to lose anyway. Most teams, when they win games, they win because the other team made mistakes and they were able to capitalize. That's how this league works. I told you this, that a wise man told me, more games in this league are lost than they are won. So I don't feel bad. I thought this was a really good performance by the team overall. You keep hearing the term complimentary football. I thought the special teams contributed. Yep, we missed a field goal, but they had a big turnover that they forced early in the game when the Packers clearly had the momentum. Offensively, you saw what we were able to do on the ground. We were able to be proficient on third downs. We were able to score some points and give ourselves a chance. We won the time of possession battle there. There's a lot of good there that we saw from the offense. Still some, things that need to be cleaned up. The pick six, the near fumble, scoop and score. There's a lot of things that, look, it is what it is. But I thought the offense did some good things. In the defense, Packers 0 of 6 on third downs. Packers 0 of 1 on fourth down. I thought the defense, for the most part, they had that one drive when we were up 23-14 with the chance to put it away, and they have the 3 penalties that set up the touchdown to Aaron Jones. We're aware of that. Those things are going to happen from time to time because we're not there yet as a team. But overall, I thought they did what they had to do in this game to help us win. I thought it was a team effort. I didn't feel like this was one of those games where I felt like ashamed of a win. Even if I did feel ashamed, I don't care. I'm not giving it back. But anyway, thank you for the super chat, Sonny Rawson. Greatly appreciate you. Got a couple of supers here. Another one from Sonny Rawson. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Sonny Rawson. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, we got to find a way to keep this D-line together. I was thinking about that, Sonny. That's a great point. I was thinking about that, I think about a week ago after the Bears game. I thought it was another dominant performance by that defensive line. And I was just thinking to myself, we've got to find a way. I know the thing that's going to make it a lot easier to do is if we continue to not have a franchise quarterback. It makes it a lot easier to spend your money elsewhere. This is why teams tell you very, very bluntly, the best and most direct path to winning a Super Bowl is getting a quarterback on a rookie deal because it allows you to spend your money elsewhere to surround that quarterback. Once that quarterback establishes himself as one of the league's legitimate quarterbacks, you have to then pay him. You're going to eat up 13 to 14% of your cap, maybe even a little bit more, depending on, the structure of the deal, the cap, this situation, this, that, the third. And it's going to stop you and prohibit you from being able to maybe re-sign some guys that you want to re-sign, go out and get some veterans to help plug in a few areas on the roster. This defensive line, however, is the strength of this football team. And we've spent a ton of draft capital to get these guys in the positions that they're currently in, from Allen to Payne to Sweat to now Young. And we haven't even seen what this could look like with Young coming back. If he plays the way that we think he's capable of, with these guys playing the way that they're currently playing, this thing could really be a hell of a run defensive line wise for the next 3 to 4 years. And so while I would love to keep this group together, I don't know financially if that is feasible or not. But again, if we don't have a franchise quarterback, and we see that's the case right now, and if we continue to go either down the Sam Howell road or, you draft a guy next year, either way, if it's a quarterback on a rookie deal, we're going to be able to keep all 4 of these guys on the defensive line. If you go out and you make a trade in the offseason or something major like we just did with Wentz, it's going to prohibit you from keeping all of these guys. You saw how that move with Wentz hurt us from a salary cap standpoint and forced us to make moves that we didn't want to make. So understand that when you start tying yourself financially to guys long term, it limits what you can do moving forward, especially when it's a quarterback. We don't have that problem, so I think it's a lot more likely that we're able to hold on to Daron Payne, that we're able to re-up on Montez Sweat. And again, Chase Young is a little bit further down the road. We don't have to worry about that right now. Payne is the most immediate and imminent deal that needs to get done. Then there is the business of Montez Sweat. You would like to get him done and not have him going into a contract year next year if he continues to play well like he's playing this year. So it's going to be interesting to see. I would love to keep this defensive line together as well, but we will see what happens moving forward. RVA Monarch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, a win is a win, I guess. And I think we read this one a little bit later on. I think you super chatted that one again. I apologize for you having to super chat that one again. But look, I said this with Sonny Rawson's first super. I didn't feel that way about this one. I felt like we earned a victory here. We earned a victory. I didn't feel like the Bears game where you're like, we should have lost that game 10 times over. I didn't feel that. I felt like we earned this victory. And so I didn't get a win is a win type of vibe from this one. But again, to each its own. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I know where we are as a football team. This is the same team that hadn't scored over 20 points since week number 2 of this season. So the fact that we scored 23 points, we were feeling like last year all over again, like 2019 all over again. Like, oh my God, our offense is so anemic. To score 23 points, to control time of possession, this gave me Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panther game vibes from last year. This one felt good. But again, to each its own. Thank you for the super chat, RVA Monarch. Got a couple of new members to the MOBB. HTTC, stand up. You are officially the newest member of the MOBB. And I think we've done this before. I think you might have upgraded maybe. I'm not quite sure, but whatever the case may be, come on in. You know what? Bring Fat Mike with you. Stand up, Fat Mike. Come on in. Mob, y'all know what to do. Show Fat Mike and HTTC. Welcome him into the squad. All right, we look forward to chopping it up with you. Look forward to you having this bonus content coming your way. Look forward to you watching these games with us on Sundays, chopping it up. Welcome to the squad. You're a part of a very, very tight-knit and often crazy family. But what family isn't, right? Welcome to the squad. All right. Got another comment here, or another new member. Stand up, Anthony Payron. Welcome to the MOBB mob. Y'all know what to do. Show Anthony some love. Welcome him with open arms. Show him and Fat Mike and H to the double TC. Show all of them some love. Wrap your arms around all three of them. Bring them in. Bring it in. Bring it in. They are part of the family now. Welcome to the squad. Anthony, so glad to have you. All right, got a super chat here from Kyle. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Kyle, who writes, was rooting for you this week. Scary Terry TD was huge. It was massive. Just like his touchdown in week number. He's only got 2 this season, right? Both of them have been massive touchdowns. The one against Jacksonville was the touchdown that put us back within striking distance. We were down 2 scores against Jacksonville, or I think we were down 8, actually. We were down 22-15, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it? Yeah, we were down 22-14 in that game against Jacksonville. And we went for 2. We did not get it. We were down 22-20 after Terry's touchdown, but it was 19 straight points by the Jaguars, and his touchdown broke that streak, got us back in the game, flipped the momentum, and then ultimately we go down, score the game winner later on with Jahan Dotson, go for 2, get it, win that game 28-22. Big momentum swing on that Terry touchdown against Jacksonville. Huge momentum swing in this game, and to me, Terry was huge all day long, but it's like that touchdown was, I don't want to say that was the icing on the cake, because the icing on the cake was the 3rd down conversion to put the game essentially away. I think that was another scoop of ice cream. You know, you get the one scoop and you think that's all you're going to get. And they say, you know what? It's 2 for Tuesdays. Here's another scoop. Bloop. And you go, oh my God, what a pleasant surprise. You got another scoop. And so that touchdown was massive because he was already having a really good day. But that one was the one where he let Jair Alexander know, you didn't really want this, bro. You didn't want this smoke, but it's too late. It's too late. You've passed the point of no return. Now I got to get in your ass. And he did. And he wasn't done. Caught a pass down the sideline right before the 2-minute warning. And it was a play where Heineke's getting pressured. He's backpedaling. He tosses it to Terry, who runs a beautiful whip route, acts as if he's running a slant, whips it back outside, leaves Jair Alexander running inside, gets outside. It was a ball that hung in the air for an eternity. So he catches it. He turns. He stiff arms Jair Alexander, gets up the sideline, does not go out of bounds, picks up about a gain of 13. It was big play after big play after big play, but that touchdown, it seemed like it was like one of the big momentum shifts. It was the go-ahead touchdown, at the time. And we didn't know at that time that we would not relinquish the lead again in the game. So really it was the game-winning touchdown. But for all intents and purposes, that was a huge play in the game. It sure was. I know you were rooting for us. You're a Vikings fan. You want to see the Packers' demise. And, they're one of those teams that you can never count them out because of Rodgers. So you want to stack as many losses on top of these boys as you can. Build as big a lead so that it becomes insurmountable because they're always lurking with 12. And at some point you expect them, and maybe that's not going to happen this year, but at some point you expect them to turn things around. And so you're like, get as many losses while they're struggling as you can. So I'm glad we were able to help you out, but we're not your friend. Just understand that. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, and we'll be looking to get a dub up off you. So really appreciate you, as always, Kyle. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Video channel writes, sup, Lou? Sup, video channel? Your man Wild Goose out here treating Green Bay like sensitive thugs. They all need hugs. Wrap up and tackle, man. Baby. Yeah, a lot of people were talking a lot of cold hard cash about Rashad Wild Goose. Had a couple of missed tackles in a row, 3 to be exact. And one really, it was only one that really pissed me off in particular. I thought he just took a terrible angle. And it didn't need to be that way. You know, you got a guy's 2 defenders there. Your job is to stay inside of him to make sure that he doesn't get inside of you because there's no help there. You got a defender on the outside of you. You stay inside. There's nowhere for this guy to go. He takes a terrible angle and lets the guy inside of him. That one really pissed me off. But I thought he played well. Like, look, he needs to tackle better. But this is a guy, we say that, but this is a guy that damn near led the team in tackles against Chicago the week prior, where he was tackling everything that moved. So I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. The dude had like 14 tackles the week prior. Okay. So I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. He needs to tighten that shit up. I agree. But I thought he played well overall in the ball game. So thank you for the super chat video channel. And then finally got another one here from Little Baby Angel 8. Oh, what a name. Ah, that's how you feel when you see that, right? Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, ODU alum here. I was quiet for number 4 at first, but I'm back. Happy homecoming to my Monarchs. As a fellow ODU alum, I'm happy for him and his success. Want to see it. I root for just about every ODU Monarch that comes into the league. Even O'Shane Izeminis, who plays for the Giants. I root for him individually. Can't stand the team that he plays for, but nonetheless, that's just how it is. You know, you try to rep the guys that are repping the alma mater. And of course, Heineke, there's extra incentive for me for him to succeed because I want to see guys from the old stomping grounds find a way to get it done at this level. And nobody's done it at a higher clip or put, in a higher profile position rather than Taylor Heineke. So excited for his success and hoping that it continues here in Washington. So glad to have you back, Little Baby Angel 8, and hopefully you'll be back for more with more victories down the road. Let's hope that that is, in fact, the case. So that is a cleanup from last week in the show on Sunday. I did want to make mention of one comment. My guy Derek B said that he didn't understand how I could make the comment that Carson Wentz would not have won the game on Sunday because we ran it 38 times. And, we put together a game plan that was somewhat foolproof. My rebuttal in response to that is really simple. The Packers blitzed us heavily in this game. Heineke dealt with that blitz way better than anything we've seen from Carson Wentz this season. He has crumbled under pressure this season, has Carson Wentz. He has not handled blitzes well, whether it's an errant throw, to a receiver that's wide open because he's panicking and he doesn't set his feet, or he takes a sack that is unnecessary. He's been terrible against the blitz. We saw it in the Bears game. We've seen it against the Cowboys. Hell, the Lions blitzed us, and look what happened in the first half. We looked like we had never seen a blitz before, and the Eagles didn't blitz us at all, and he still couldn't get away. So I just feel like because of the amount of pressure that they were sending and they were getting in this game, they got pressure. Heineke made the offensive line look better by eluding the pressure, stepping up in the pocket. How many times did he dip the shoulder of a defender that was bearing down on him? Get up the A-gap, whether it was to run or it was to throw, like the one he did to Amani Rodgers, where he dips the shoulder, gets up the field in the A-gap, and then finds Amani Rodgers, who then picks up the first down. Like, these are massive plays that Carson Wentz isn't making. We can all acknowledge that. And yeah, we ran it 38 times. You know why we were able to run it 38 times? Because we stayed ahead of the sticks, because we didn't have those negative plays. We didn't have a first down 8-yard sack to make it 2nd and 18. You know why we were able to run it 38 times? Because we went 7 of 16 on third downs. Are we going 7 of 16 with Carson Wentz on third downs when we couldn't even go get 2 first downs against Tennessee and we couldn't get 3 against the Bears a week ago? We were 3 of 22 for our last 2 games on first downs. You really think we would have gone 7 of 16 with Carson Wentz on third downs? I mean, to me, it's not that hard. It's very simple. We don't win this game with Carson Wentz. So, anyway, I digress. If you feel differently, leave it in the comment section. I'd love to go back and forth with you. But in any event, let's get to in other news quickly. Let's go around the NFC East. There's not really much here to talk about. I just want to go around the NFC East and go around the conference quickly. So NFC East action, the 6-0 Philadelphia Eagles were not in action. They were on their bye week. So they remain the lone undefeated team in the league at this current juncture. The the New York Giants, who were second in the division at the start of play at 5-1. They traveled to Jacksonville, had every opportunity to lose. It's the same story we've seen with this team just about every single week. They're down in the game. They look like they're going to lose. They find a way to stay close, keep it within striking distance. The other team makes a mistake or two, like the Ravens did last week. They take advantage. They take the lead late. They'll hold on for dear life and win the football game. Jacksonville was up 17-13. First of all, let's go back a bit. Jacksonville was up in the game 14-6. And they were going in for a touchdown. Travis Etienne is at the 2-yard line. He's going to score. The ball is poked free and recovered in the end zone by the Giants as he's going in for a touchdown. That, to me, was where the game changed. The Jaguars had all the momentum. They looked like they were going to win that football game. The fumble happens, and it's like they never really truly recovered from that. The Giants end up cutting into that deficit at 14-13. Jacksonville gets a field goal, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right before the half. 17-13. They get the ball to start the second half. They move it right down the field, and they get a 4th-and-1 situation. And again, I think sometimes coaches can, fall victim and prey to the analytics. You got to understand the game, who you're playing against, and understand what is necessary at that current juncture. They needed the field goal. They needed the points. The 4th-and-1, I get it. You get this first down. You're still not guaranteed. It's not like it's a 4th-and-1 from the Giants 5. And if you convert this, you're 4 yards away from, pay dirt. They were at the 20. You could convert this and still flame out on the next 3 plays and still have to settle for a field goal. Just take the points. I thought it was frivolous on the part of head coach Doug Peterson. And it reminded me of his first year in Philadelphia where he was just way too aggressive, lost the Eagles some games that year because he wanted to go for it on 4th down when he didn't need to. They needed to take the points there, go up 7, and make sure that there was no way the Giants would beat you with a touchdown. Well, they didn't get the 4th down. The Giants held firm, stopped him on that 4th-and-1 on a quarterback sneak. They ended up scoring a touchdown shortly thereafter, take the lead 20-17. They tack on a late field goal to go up 23-17. And then the Jags got the football, got it all the way down to the 1-yard line on the final pass of the game. But receiver Marvin Jones Jr. couldn't get in the end zone. Great stop by the Giants. They hold on 23-17 over the Jaguars to improve their record to 6-1 on the season. Dallas got a little bit of a scare from the Lions. I expected that. The Lions were coming off of a bye week. There was still no DeAndre Swift, so that helped Dallas out tremendously. But I knew Detroit was going to put up a fight. But I said Dallas is the better team, and they will prove it. And they ultimately did. Detroit had their opportunities. That game was sitting there for the taking. It was like 7-6 or maybe 10-6 for a very long time. They had the football at the Dallas Cowboys 1-yard line after a catch and run by one of their tight ends. Looked like he had scored on the play. They could have challenged it. They elected not to. They run up to the line of scrimmage, snap the ball, and they fumble it. It's recovered by Dallas, and they never really truly recovered from that. They turned it over 5 times in the game, did Detroit. And Dallas, ultimately, the score doesn't do this game any justice. The Cowboys were struggling with the Lions for all of 3.5 quarters before, some of those turnovers mounted and led to Cowboys points. They ultimately score a couple of late touchdowns and pull away 24-6. But that game was 10-6 for the longest time, and the Lions had every opportunity to steal that ball game, but they wanted no part of victory. They wanted no parts of victory. They're scared of winning, which makes me frustrated that the one win they have this season is against us. That was the shit I was trying to guard against. Like, I don't know what the Lions are going to be this year. I don't know, what Jacksonville. I said this at the beginning of the season. I don't know what these teams are going to be. I just know if they're going to win 5 or 6 games, don't let one of them shits be against us. The Lions have one win to their name, and of course it's against us. That shit pisses me off. But what can you do? Cowboys get the win. They're 5-2. Dak didn't look all that great in this game, but he's back. That's the biggest thing, is that he got one under his belt. And they got the Chicago Bears next week. We'll see what they do. Meanwhile, the Giants, they've got the Seattle Seahawks, who are red hot all of a sudden with Geno Smith. Who knew that would be a big game in Week 8? The 4-3 Seahawks against the 6-1 Giants. Who saw that coming, right? And then the Eagles come off their bye, and they'll be hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, real quick, around the conference. Look, I said this, I think, either on the overtime show of the Sunday night game, or I said this on the post-game show after the game on Sunday. Either way, I'll just say it real quick. The NFC is wide open. You guys know this. Every team except for 5 in the NFC are currently either at 3-4 or below it. Okay? Or at 500 rather, excuse me, at 500 or below it. Only 5 teams exceed 500, and 3 of them are in this division with the 6-0 Eagles, the 6-1 Giants, and the 5-2 Cowboys. There's the 5-1 Vikings, who had a bye week, and then there's the 4-3 Seattle Seahawks. That's it. The rest of the conference stinks. The Rams are 3-3. The Bucks are 3-4. The Packers are 3-4. The Falcons are 3-4. The Commanders are 3-4. The Cardinals are 3-4. The 49ers are 3-4. You get where I'm going with this. The Panthers are 2-5. Okay. The Saints are 2-5. This conference stinks. I said that to say this. We got a shot. We got a shot. That's it. I'm leaving it at that. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on another installment of Commanders Nightly News. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys tomorrow live as we start to turn the page. We'll go over the film tomorrow. I have studs and duds for you tomorrow, more likely than not, for all you mob squatters out there. And we'll start to turn the page to the Indianapolis Colts. It's a big game. We got a chance to get back to 500. I can't recall the last time this early in the season, this late rather in the season, this early, however, that we have a chance to be at 500. I mean, when's the last time we've been at or above 500 prior to week 10? Okay. I can't tell you, and I'm talking about after week 6, before week 10, in that pocket. Okay. We've been 1-0 before under Ron Rivera. Hell, we were 1-0 this year. Okay, we've been 2-2 under Ron Rivera. We were 2-2 last year. All right, but shit usually goes off the rails shortly thereafter. You go from 1-0 in 2020 to 1-5. You go from 2-2 in 2021 to 2-6. Okay, and so we've got a chance this year to be 4-4. Who knows what happens thereafter? But give yourself a fighting chance. Get back to 500. So we'll start to turn the page tomorrow on the show live. Hopefully you'll not meet me there, you'll beat me there. Look forward to chopping up with you. But in any event, you guys get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Commanders Nightly News live. Until then, God bless and good night.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20. He's gone. He's gone. Touchdown, Washington.